What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. This is our weekly Forex forecast and analysis for the upcoming week of January the 13th through the 17th, 2020. There's a lot going on right now. We have a wave of setups coming into the market. We're going to look at all the charts before we get into the charts. Real quick, the channel continues to grow. One of the fastest growing YouTube channels there is right now. This channel is just growing at a fast pace. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and take a second to do that. You will find in the description of this video a new Telegram group that we've created. When we have new setups that occur later in the sessions, we go ahead on TradingView, go ahead and do a short 2-3 minute video of whatever setup is in play, and then go ahead and include that in the Telegram group to alert you. If you're not yet on that list, go ahead and add yourself right now. All right, like I said, we have a lot going in the markets. I want to take a look with you right now at what is going on, what to expect. As far as the calendar next week, where I'm really focused is on Tuesday, the CPI readings out of the US. On Thursday, the ECB monetary policy meeting minutes. And then we have also out of the pound retail sales on Friday. Let's not forget on Thursday, we have retail sales out of the US as well. Those are things on the calendar that I have my eye on. I'm going to check out the charts now. This is what I trade off of. Let's take a look. We're going to start off here with the DXY because it's really important. I'm going to show you exactly right now why that is. We're going to start here and do a top-down approach. We always start in the daily time frame. If we're looking for a setup, we'll then go down to a lower time frame. But I want you to see here on the DXY, we are trading within this channel. This looks like perhaps a bull wedge, right? And perhaps we break to the upside over here. Last week during our weekly Forex forecast and analysis, price was looming somewhere around the lower end of this trend line, and we were getting ready for some bullish US dollar price action, which we saw this week. Now, what is happening? Into Friday, we're coming off this resistance of this trend line. Until this resistance is broken, we expect that it's going to hold, and we expect to see that new wave coming in of setups as far as short some US dollar pairs coming into the market, so long as this line of resistance holds. All right, we want to see how price reacts if we get towards this support level where my mouse is right now on the DXY, and we want to see if price holds over there or is able to push through and give us some really nice trades to the downside. We are also defensively watching if we get a break of this trend line. The first thing that we'll look for is this resistance up here to hold, price to come back down, test this broken resistance, see if it holds a support or if it falls back into the pattern. And if it does hold the support and resumes upwards, if we start really breaking out with some dollar strength. Until that happens though, we're expecting right now to be able to pick up some trades. Let's take a look what the market's offering us. Let's start with the Euro US dollar. Here we are with the Euro US dollar, and we can see that right here, this support over here is holding up right now. And next week, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for this support down here to hold, all right? So now's the time if you're looking to take any type of long trades on the Euro US dollar to get involved. I know a lot of traders up here were really bullish. That was actually, let's look down at the 8 hour. This was actually our best trade of the week last week, was taking this short here off of this resistance being rejected and all the way down into here and taking support on Friday after the non-farm payrolls. Excellent trade. Am I taking this long here? No, I'm not taking a long here off of this support here. I'm looking for other pairs with other opportunities. I don't see myself on Monday getting into this trade. Nevertheless, there is opportunity here. You could see this was resistance. This is support. And now over here, this is holding now as support. This looks pretty healthy. Anyone taking a trade here to the upside, I definitely see it and I like it. Let's see what else is out there. Let's take a look right now at gold. We could see XAU, and this is a big picture looking at the daily time frame. You could see that this is really quite bullish price action. Looks over here that we're making 5-year highs, and right here now you see, let's look at the 8 hour here to give you a better view of this. You could see this support down here has held and price is now resuming upwards. I expect it's going to take a look at the resistance over here this week. That's my base case. That's what I'm looking to happen. If gold is able to and does break down below this trend line support over here, and takes out, for example, let's call it 1545. At that point, I think we're coming down and we're going to be testing the support all the way down here at this level of 1518. Right now, things continue to look solid. With the dollar bias coming off a little bit now, especially on Friday, we'll see what happens early into next week. It looks like anyone holding a gold long has a few dollars here, more than a few dollars, about $20 to the upside to continue to look for before looking to take some profits. Moving over to the US dollar, Canadian dollar, we could see we're in this strong downtrend now as price is coming into resistance on the dollar index, looking to go ahead and see if we get that shift of momentum with a little bit of dollar weakness going into next week. We're talking about a wave of setups coming into the market. We saw one on the euro US dollar, and now here to the downside is one is developing on the US dollar Canadian dollar. You could see over here, I'm going to show you this resistance held. This was on Thursday in New York. Price came all the way, touched our resistance level. That's why we have them there, and then came back down, and now this resistance is currently holding. Okay, now I'm looking to the downside over here as price seems to be rejected by this resistance up here. If we're wrong and if we get above this resistance, we're going to get another nice look at this stronger resistance over here. You have this trend line over here, and you have this resistance over here horizontally. You see where my mouse is right now. So if we get a look up here in this sweet spot, I'd like to call it, that's going to be another nice opportunity. But right now, the trend is down strongly. It looks like we're getting a turn in dollar strength right now. And I'm looking for the Canadian dollar to continue to lead the way back down. And I'm going to reevaluate as we get back down into this level over here and see what I'm going to do as far as taking profits or continuing to hold and look for a break of any further levels. Let's take a look now at the Australian dollar, US dollar, and this is continuing to look good. Look, zoom out with me. You're in this steep trend line break that has occurred. This looks healthy since the breakout. Price came up, tested the first resistance, tested the broken resistance as support, and now has been off to the races. Came back on this huge risk off event with the attack between Iran and the US, and has leaned into this support now, and price is resuming upwards on strong Australian retail sales coming into this resistance. But it appears again that we're not only getting that shift in dollar strength that we saw this past week, but it also looks like that we're going to have some type of signing this week between China and the US, and we could see some further appreciation of the Australian dollar, at least into that. I'm curious whether or not this winds up being a sell the news type event or not. Either which way, we're focused on the near term. And in the near term, right now, the Australian dollar, US dollar continues to look good. Watch this resistance over here. If price does get rejected by it, and by rejection, I mean you start making lower lows, watch out. You might come back down and test the support. If we break above here, where are we looking to the upside? What's our next point to look for? Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go to a higher time frame. I'm going to pull up the weekly time frame first. And I think I'm going to draw in a resistance line over here that we could look at. And I think that's what we need to have it. And I think we could look for a test of the high over here as far as anyone who's looking for a place that they could look for their first take profit level. That's quite a distance away, right? So we'll see what happens this week. That looks like it could be a good opportunity. I know some of the traders got into this on Friday during our live streams or earlier during London. I was not able to myself. I was not able to get into the trade. I wanted to get into the trade. As everyone knows, I was watching the US dollar, Canadian dollar, which I did take a short entry on, and also the Australian dollar, US dollar. My setup criteria did not allow for it, and the trade is just taking off and looks good. Let's take a look now at the US dollar, Japanese yen, and you could see here clearly as we are zoomed out and then come back in a little bit. After this break of this rising wedge here, rising wedge in this downtrend, we saw a nice break with a lot of opportunity, and since we have been straight up back now into this resistance. Let me make this darker for you so that you could get a better look at it yourself. This is resistance over here. Some traders were pretty, let me drop down to the 8 hours so you can see it. They took short trades over here on Friday during the live stream. Good trade, good entry. You know where you're wrong right away. You not only have this resistance over here, look at this, you also have this trend line resistance right above you over there. Price has got some overhead resistance to work through. I didn't take this trade. I wasn't looking at this trade because things are pretty bullish into this resistance over here. And I'm just on the sidelines here. I think it was a good trade. Anyone that is involved in this short over here, you know where you're wrong. And you might have even another look down over here at 108.90 to look to take some profits or to see what develops. I am curious going into this week as we're looking for the US and China to decide this phase one trades deal of what that means. And I think that we're going to continue to see risk on a little bit here. That could mean some weaker Japanese yen. And I do believe, though, we're also at the same time looking like the shift is to a weaker dollar is transitioning as well. So this trade, I give it more of a neutral bias right now, perhaps with a little bit of weight towards the Japanese yen. Let's keep this going with a look at the pound US dollar. We all know the pound has been on this tear. This is a V-shaped recovery you're looking at. Look at this. That's a strong V coming back into here right now. As far as this bull run here remains pretty solidly intact. Okay, you have this trend line down here, and as long as you're above this trend line over here and above this support over here horizontally at 1.278, you look pretty bullish and things look good. Things have been consolidating since the breakout and are holding up. We'll see what the next move is. I believe there's still better opportunity in other places, and that's where I've been looking. But if you look with me and you see where my mouse is right now at this horizontal resistance over here, when price broke up, came back down and is now back above it, and on Thursday tested that broken resistance as support, and it held again. As long as price remains above that, you're looking pretty good. We got to get above this area over here around 1.33 in order to really start looking for a continuation of this move. Right now, I think price is neutral, sideways. It's not something I'm interested in being involved in. I'm just on the sidelines over here. Let's take a look at the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I think this is offering some opportunity right now. Look, on Friday here, you have this hanging man pattern. Obviously, that doesn't look good, but that's only one day. Let's see what happens going into next week. Let's see whether or not the yen is showing any type of strength, or if it's going to continue to show weakness. What I'm looking at, though, even though you have this ugly daily pattern here on Friday, what I'm looking at is price is still above this breakout over here. You could see that price broke above this resistance and is only coming now, testing into it. Listen, out of all the Japanese yen pairs, the Canadian dollar is holding up the strongest. It held within this channel, and now if you look down at the 8 hour and you see any type, you see there's the test of the breakout, and the support is holding. And as long as you hold, if this support holds and then you start making higher highs, resuming out of it, I think this looks like a really good trade. I think there's opportunity here, and being that the strength of the Canadian dollar has been holding up versus the yen pretty strong, I'm going to be looking here for opportunity to see if I get an entry during one of our tradable times. If that occurs during London, during New York, and as long as this support, this broken resistance continues to hold as support, I really like this trade going into next week. Let's take a look right now at crude oil, and you could see we've had, this was during the whole Iran fiasco over here. Oil emotionally put in some highs, step back, and you could see what a level that was. Look at this resistance over up here. All right, and that's where price made its highs, and then not only does it peeled off, it's broken this trend line over here that we have, and that's a sign that weakness is in play. What I'm looking to happen to see is if we get any type of reprieve of this sharp sell-off, price drift backs up, and if we get another look at this resistance, this trend line, I expect if we do that, this trend line is going to hold as resistance now, and if it does, I think the opportunity is if price resumes off it to the downside. Let's see. Again, I think this could be a week as we get into the week, looking into the US-China trade deal on a light calendar. I think we could see some risk on, and I think oil will benefit with a bid. At the same time, I do also believe we're going to be looking at a weaker dollar, but that doesn't really play into this forecast too much over here. Where do you lean off of? Are we going to come take a look down at the support down over here? I know some people have a take profit level down over here, or is this support over here? I have it 58, let's call it 58.40, 58.37. If that's going to hold, then we're going to see some resumption up now after this sharp and deep sell-off, and come back and take a look at this trend line to see if it's resistance. That's my base case. That's what I'm looking to happen. We'll keep watching and keep you updated. All right, let's take a look now at the pound Japanese yen. This is very similar to the structure we have in place on the pound US dollar. Let's go ahead and extend this trend line over here. We're going to continue to use that as a place to lean off of. The closer we get to this trend line over here, this is support, and we could lean off this and look for any type of longs. As long as we stay above this trend line, things are structurally pretty positive. You also have this support over here at 140.92. You could see this held midweek over here. It held again over here. This was the broken resistance over here. This looks really remaining really with a bullish upside bias. We're just waiting to see if we get another look and burst and could come up, and let me extend this one here as well and take another look at the resistance over here, which would be from this high as well as this resistance of this trend line over here. We get below these two areas, specifically, this is a warning sign. You get below this trend line, warning. You get below this support line, warning. You get below this support line down here, watch out, things are looking very bearish. Right now, things look good. Am I looking to lean in here? I'm not looking to lean in here. I think there's better opportunity elsewhere. Everyone knows I'm very picky about my setups and very choosy, and I still see price as pretty sideways right now. It looks good though, and I like the fact that this broken resistance has held as support once, 2, 3 times, and as long as that base is in place, things look good. Again, if it does give way and we turn to the downside, that's a telltale sign that we got some room to go. All right, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying doing this. So we're going to keep going. Let's look at the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen right now. Again, you have this trend line in place. This was let's step it back with me. Look over here. This was the series of higher lows. There was a rounding bottom, and then we had this resistance over here. Here was the breakout. We were all watching this, and then ever since the breakout, price hugged this trend line. Once you get the break of the trend line, that's where you take profits. And this is the warning that the trend is now running into trouble. What has happened? Price came back, tested this light support down here. It wicked under during the whole Iran fiasco, but then we got price building back up, and now looks very healthy and continues to look healthy. I expect here on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, specifically as we're going into a week, which looks like we're going to see risk on. I do think we're going to take a look and come back up and get close to testing the high over here and the trend line resistance over here. That's going to be an interesting inflection point to watch. I'm not looking to trade this over here right now. Let me even look down on the 8-hour just to make sure about that. All right. Again, this is the support. When the support didn't, when the broken breakout was rejected, this is the area to get long. I'm not going to get long over here, even if we break up to the upside. I think if we do, it's going to work out, but I'll look up here, and I would look to get short against this resistance and towards the high over here. So this is just going on my watch list. I'm going to keep following it. I don't see the opportunity lined up here yet. But again, it's just a question of the exercise of continuing looking at all the pairs, following the flow of the market. And then when your setup reaches the inflection point, and then price gets you into the trade, taking advantage of it. That's how we do it. Listen, what we have going on here is a wonderful thing. This is truly the best education and analysis on the internet. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, go ahead and do that. Join us on TradingView, join us on Twitter, join us on whatever platform that you are active on, and stay with us. We'd love to have you. I hope everyone has a great week coming up. Let's make a lot of pips. Let's work smart and let's work hard together. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you later.